Coming in number 5, improved NPC behavior. Taking it back to Grand Theft Auto 5, NPC behavior was really one-dimensional, a lot of repetitive dialogue and reactions. NPCs had funny one-liners, but after a few hours, you'd start hearing the same lines over and over. And they're just really stupid, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you go up to some of them and they just start running away, scared for their lives. Even if you're not threatening them, it feels like majority of the time, they just end up running away. It makes interactions feel very artificial, as though the city is afraid of the player rather than alive and natural. And this had a significant impact on immersion because so many of the NPCs reacted in a lot of the same ways. It felt like Los Santos was more like a stage set rather than a living and breathing city. Especially when you're trying to explore, casually interact with the world, and it goes against you. It just kind of makes it feel like everything is quite static and one-dimensional. On the flip side of this, sometimes you would get some NPCs that would occasionally escalate into fights if provoked. These fights were fun for the most part and had a little bit of unpredictability to the streets, but the problem is that these were few and far between. The positive thing is that this was improved drastically upon in Red Dead Redemption 2. NPCs had dynamic schedules and daily routines where they had jobs to go to, homes to live in, and set routines to follow. They ate meals, slept, drank, socialized, and even traveled across towns. It definitely made the towns and cities feel more alive because NPCs weren't just standing around, they had a purpose and a schedule to follow. It definitely showed Rockstar's potential for NPC realism, people with routines, memories, and personalities, unlike GTA 5, where most NPCs just ran or yelled. Now, the awesome and groundbreaking thing is with GTA 6 in regards to this aspect is that Rockstar seems to be taking this a step further when it comes to NPC behavior. We're going to be seeing a significant leap forward in regards to how NPCs behave. And we know this because of Rockstar's parent company Take-Two Interactive that followed various AI patterns about a couple of years ago. And one went into detail describing that NPCs will have AI-generated responses, moods, and animations based on events, atmosphere, and other player or NPC moods and situations. One example being, if an NPC is in the rain, it can have randomized actions around the rain/weather. If an NPC is drunk, they will respond in various ways based on what the AI will randomly tell that NPC what to do. Not a built-in animation tree like we've seen in previous Rockstar installments. If you or another NPC are doing something crazy, the AI may tell the NPCs to start recording you on their phones. So adapting to real-time events, NPCs will adjust their behavior based on what's happening in the world around them. Another example being, if there's a police chase nearby, they might take a different route or react accordingly. Someone on Reddit summarized by saying they will basically act and feel a lot more individualized with an extensive variety on spontaneous actions, like as if they're all living their own lives. So this is pretty huge. These advancements mean that GTA 6's world will feel more alive and reactive than ever before. NPCs won't just be background characters static in the game's world, they'll be integral to the game's dynamic ecosystem and just overall in the game's world, whether you're free roaming, whether you're in a main mission, side mission, whatever it may be. When you're playing as Jason and Lucia, the world is going to react to you differently compared to how it was previously in GTA titles. So this is going to make everything feel way more immersive in Vice City and Leonida. Coming number 4, gunplay and combat. One of the biggest complaints for many in relation to GTA 5's gunplay was the fact that it felt for the most part quite repetitive and stiff. Especially on console, the heavy lock-on aim auto system made combat feel a bit robotic, and it was less about skill and more about snapping between targets. Switching weapons, reloading, and movement during combat felt very static and repetitive. You didn't feel the weight or individuality of each gun. For example, the assault rifle, submachine gun, light machine gun. It didn't really feel like each gun had its own personality. In relation to the movement and cover system, it kind of felt like when you're moving in and out of cover, it felt very clunky and sticky. It kind of felt like it was quite stiff, even when you were moving inside of buildings. So while GTA 5's gunplay was fun sometimes, it kind of felt like it was shallow, didn't really have too much depth. The lack of fluid animations and realistic enemy reactions meant gunfights often boiled down to snap aim, auto shoot, repeat. I really do feel like Rockstar dropped the ball on this one in relation to this area, but I do feel that they actually got it right the year prior, which I don't understand why they didn't implement it in GTA 5. And this was with Max Payne 3 that was released in 2012, often seen as Rockstar's peak when it comes to third-person shooting mechanics. I don't know what it is about this game, but I feel like a lot of people are of the same opinion that everything just felt so smooth and fluid in terms of the gunplay and combat. Everything was fantastic, transitioning from one room to the other. Even the weapons, in terms of the impact and the feel of them, every gun felt beefy. The sound design, recoil, and hit reactions made firefights more visceral. In terms of the enemies, they used cover effectively, flanked, and felt quite aggressive in their nature and approach. Everything definitely felt like it was much more of a challenge when trying to take them down. Combined with the cinematic gunplay, this made every single encounter as Max Payne, as intense as possible. And in saying all this, tying this to Grand Theft Auto 6, if Rockstar can blend Max Payne 3's fluid gunplay with RDR2's realism, it could easily become Rockstar's best combat system ever. I think Moore's Critical, otherwise known as Charlie, put it best when he goes,
"If I was to have a wet dream come to life for GTA 6, and this is something I've talked about on stream before, I would love to see them actually use the third-person shooting mechanics that Rockstar developed for Max Payne 3. Max Payne 3, I think, is a masterpiece of a game, and the number one standout thing when it comes to its gameplay is its third-person shooting mechanics. It is so fluid, so smooth. It is the most dynamic third-person shooting experience I've ever had, and even today, 11 years later, I don't think there's a third-person shooter that comes close to what Max Payne 3 captured with its gunplay. I would love to see them take the Max Payne 3 gunplay and introduce it to GTA 6. I think that would be a perfect marriage. To have the gunplay mechanics that Max Payne 3 had in GTA would be mind-blowing. The possibilities would be legitimately unending. It's just been this treasure, this sacred treasure, a divine artifact locked away in a sarcophagus at Rockstar HQ, this Max Payne 3 gunplay. Just unleash it to the world, open Pandora's box, put it in GTA 6 in some capacity.
Charlie sure does have a way with words, but I gotta agree with him. If we do have Max Payne 3 gunplay within GTA 6 somehow built from the ground up, perhaps maybe taking inspiration from Max Payne 3, would be a great way to have peak third-person shooting mechanics into Grand Theft Auto 6. And as a result, it would truly feel like a true next-gen experience. Coming in number 3, the map. Based off the replies I saw from you guys, it seems like this is one of the most highly requested things you guys are most excited to see in GTA 6, and that is the scale of the map. Based off what Rockstar has provided thus far, we know that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be taking place in the fictional state of Florida, that being Leonida. And we also know some other things that Rockstar has provided in brief snippets of information that they have given to us, one of them being the fact that they said that the state of Leonida is going to be where GTA 6 is going to be taking place, home to the neon-soaked streets of Vice City and beyond, as well as saying after Trailer 2 dropped with the screenshots on the website saying tour a few of the must-see destinations across the Sunshine State, meaning that the locations that Rockstar provided to us on the GTA 6 website a few months back are not all the locations that are going to be in GTA 6. And based off the September 22 leaked footage and files, it still seems like there are unofficial, unconfirmed locations that were included within those 90 leaked clips and files that have yet to be formally officially revealed. Not only this, but there are map secrets and subtle hints from Rockstar pointing to another state coming to GTA 6, like I've mentioned numerous times here on the channel, potentially seeing the state of Georgia, which is referred to in GTA 6 from what we know at the moment, Gloriana. Geographically, it makes sense, and I would say this is a very likely scenario. Another theory floating around is potentially seeing Orlando being part of the map based off a subtle hint Rockstar provided. As you can see with the TV in the background showcasing what appears to be the real-life Gatorland in Orlando. It seems like this could be the fictional theme park that we are going to be seeing potentially within GTA 6. I would say that this is a likely scenario coming into the game, seeing another city that we haven't seen formally revealed yet. And another screenshot points to this potentially becoming a reality. You can see here Cal in the foreground, and in the background you can see an alligator statue and a frog with a crown. Could this be the theme park in fictional Orlando? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Another location that has been hinted at is Cuba. Based off this screenshot Rockstar provided of Raul Batista, you can clearly see the Cuban flag on the front of this object. That would be absolutely awesome to see fictional Cuba within a Grand Theft Auto title. It would be absolutely awesome to see something like this. Perhaps it may only be tied to a mission or a cutscene. It may not be a part of the overall map, but however, this would still be very exciting nonetheless. We also know that based off numerous reports and leaks, one specifically coming from Jason Schreier, the fact that Rockstar's plan is to update the game over time, adding new cities on a regular basis, meaning that the map is very likely to expand over a period of time, mostly probably referring to GTA 6 Online, but hopefully with a single player component as well. Just like Epic Games did with Fortnite, it seems like Rockstar is going to be taking that same formula, that same template, and implementing it within GTA 6. And we also know based off that Aaron Garbett leak prior to Trailer 1, which claimed that the map is going to be twice the size of Los Santos. And based off the latest mapping project version devised by the mapping project team, it does seem like that this is going to be the case. So gone will be the days of seeing solely one city like we saw within Grand Theft Auto 5 with Los Santos. 10 plus years with one city definitely didn't serve players well, especially within online. So it's great to see that GTA 6 is going to be alive more than ever before, with Rockstar setting to deliver their most diverse and explorable world yet, with more interiors, more density, and even the potential for future expansions like I mentioned earlier. This is really set to be the most ambitious open world Rockstar has ever created. Coming in number 2, vehicle customization and driving physics. From GTA 4 to GTA 5 was a massive step up in terms of the evolution of vehicle customization with the introduction of Los Santos Customs. You could respray, upgrade your engines, wheels, and spoilers. Rockstar definitely gave us a taste of customization, sort of harping back to the days of San Andreas, where it was huge for its time. You could add spoilers, rims, exhaust, paint jobs, and even a hydraulic system. So whilst GTA 4 brought back the personalization GTA 4 lacked, and it felt huge at the time, however, even with all the options, it eventually felt all the same, with most cars, when they were maxed out, they look like the same from an aesthetic standpoint. Now, in relation to GTA 6, if Rockstar can take inspiration from the Need for Speed titles, which are often praised for having one of the deepest customization systems in racing titles, where they allow you to adjust every single part of the car, including your ride height, so your suspension tuning, bumpers, splitters, skirts, diffusers, and body kits. And how about performance tuning, where you're able to adjust so many things in relation to this aspect, whether it be upgrading from a stock air filter, as well as the sway bars, cooling systems, and the intake manifold. Not only this, how about fuel systems, so bigger injectors, better fuel pumps for more power, forced induction, so turbochargers, superchargers. How about electronics such as ECUs that controlled power delivery? And this game went even further with allowing you to upgrade your ignition system, so better combustion and more efficient power, as well as the ability to upgrade your engine block, so whether it be a stronger or a lighter block to handle higher horsepowers, camshafts, cylinder heads, exhaust manifolds, a full exhaust system, and a nitrous oxide system. Now, interestingly, with nitrous, it was featured within San Andreas, but it was last seen in the Ballad of Gay Tony, where you were able to partake in a triathlon event and nitrous was made available. Now, all of that you just heard, imagine that being implemented within Grand Theft Auto 6 with even deeper level of vehicle customization, taking inspiration from Need for Speed 2015. Rockstar have already dipped their toes into vehicle customization quite a fair bit with San Andreas. So if Rockstar can combine that kind of hardcore tuning, especially with their attention to detail that they are known for, GTA 6 could really deliver the most advanced vehicle customization we've ever seen before. From flashy visuals to performance builds that actually matter in street races, missions, as well as police chases, which is going to be a big focus in GTA 6 across Vice City and Leonida, then we are really in for something very special here. Now, moving on, let's talk about driving physics. One of the most crucial elements within any Grand Theft Auto title is the driving. And this is because, considering how majority of the time this is how you are going to be traversing through the game's world, this element needs to be the best it can be. Now, in terms of the HD universe Grand Theft Auto titles, we saw the introduction of the Euphoria physics engine, and in relation to cars, they felt quite heavy, weighty, and realistic. Now, for some people, the complaints out there was the fact that it was too realistic and kind of felt like you're handling a boat. Every turn had body roll, braking distance really mattered, and crashes were brutal. And in Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar went the opposite route: faster acceleration, sharper turning, and tighter controls. It definitely felt much more arcade-like and fun for a lot of people, but it definitely lost the gritty realism GTA 4 had. Crashes felt less impactful, cars bounced back too easily, and driving became much more forgiving. Now, with Grand Theft Auto 6, I'd say the best approach from Rockstar's perspective is to try and blend the two. Focus on balancing a realism and fun, keep the weight and realism of GTA 4, but mix in GTA 5's smoother handling. And I think it's probably time for Rockstar to introduce some type of dynamic handling by each vehicle type. So for example, muscle cars with heavy torque and wheel spin, sports cars with tight grip, and cornering precision. And how about with off-road vehicles focusing on suspension bounce and a mud/dirt traction? And this would make everything so much more difficult and challenging, especially when trying to interact with the game's environment. For example, imagine you are in the grass rivers and you're hunting down an alligator. Utilizing a sports vehicle would make you sink and get stuck, but a lifted truck or off-road 4x4 could power through the mud and the water. This gives purpose to different vehicle types beyond just looks, with the challenge of navigating nature, adding tension. And imagine this coupled with a police chase where you're evading a police pursuit. This would most definitely make it much more realistic and definitely more immersive. This is how Rockstar should really be tying in the environment setting of Vice City and Leonida, whether you are traversing through the game's world by land, air, or sea. And how about the different weather conditions impacting our ability to handle our vehicles? Imagine extreme weather conditions such as a thunderstorm or even hurricanes, and potentially even cyclones that could become world-shaping events that impact everything, such as driving, flying, or even the various waterways in Leonida and Vice City. And how about the potential of even flash flooding occurring, seeing flooded streets which might force you to take various detours? Or how about roads blocked by fallen trees, power outages affecting the neon lit Vice City on Ocean Drive, for example? Now, for some people this may seem like it's taking a little bit too far, but I would say that based off of what Rockstar has dropped in terms of strong hints, such as Hurricane Roxy within Trailer 2, to job listings for weather programs that GTA 6 may feature dynamic weather that impacts gameplay in real time. I will say that random hurricanes might be rare and may only be featured in cutscenes, but I'd expect rain, high winds, and potentially planet storms to shape how you drive, fly, and explore the map. And as a result, the weather would become a part of the driving experience, therefore impacting the driving physics. As a result, making every trip across Vice City and Leonida a real challenge. So to conclude this, if Rockstar can take the approach of blending the driving physics of GTA 4 and 5 and introducing the environment, how the weather conditions affect our driving physics, then this could be something that's going to be very revolutionary. And this will totally reshape how we think about driving physics and driving in general in games. Coming in number 1, the story. At the end of the day, if the story isn't good, none of the other features matter. You could have the best map, realistic driving, insane vehicle physics, but if the story doesn't grab you, the game falls flat. Now, GTA 6 needs to exceed expectations, not just in gameplay, but in narrative, characters we care about, missions that thrill, and a world that reacts to the choices we make. That's why the story is always number 1. Now, the great thing is, in terms of story and everything that we've seen so far in relation to it, it really does look like Rockstar is nailing this aspect so far in relation to what we know about Lucia and Jason's story thus far. For the first time, we will be seeing a dual protagonist dynamic between the both of them, a Bonnie and Clyde-like duo which Rockstar has been inspired by. And it does seem like these two main protagonists are shaping up to be equally compelling compared to previous Grand Theft Auto protagonists. The contrast between them can drive narrative tension. Lucia, very street smart, adaptable, possibly tied to Vice City's neon nightlife and potentially criminal underworld. We already know a bit of a brief background about her upbringing in Liberty City, that her father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Themes that may be explored in relation to Lucia's arc may be loyalty, betrayal, and ambition. In terms of her personality traits, it seems like she's bringing style, attitude, and charisma, fitting perfectly within the Vice City setting. And as for Jason, it does seem like he has been presented as more grounded or ambitious, tied to Leonida's rural region, giving perspective outside the urban chaos. Based off what Rockstar has described, he has a military background which could influence his skills, combat style, and approach to missions. And we already know about his connection to Brian Hedder, letting him stay rent-free at one of his properties in the Leonida Keys. This could suggest he has ties to the local community and resources outside Vice City. I would not even be surprised if the early missions involving Brian and Jason is likely to include crime and drug smuggling, seeing that Jason appears to be working at Brian's boat works and marina. So how strongly tied is Jason with Brian in relation to how this story is going to play out and how this connects to Lucia is going to be very, very interesting. I would say that he gives players a more disciplined rural perspective, from tactical heists to navigating the swamps and coastline, complementing Lucia's chaotic life perfectly. Lucia and Jason give us two very different sides of Grand Theft Auto 6's story. Lucia navigating Vice City's neon-lit chaos, and Jason handling the gritty rural world of Leonida. And based off how Rockstar has presented it, their stories cross paths, their choices affect each other, and this could literally shape their fate. Loyalty, love, trust, and betrayal, which are themes Rockstar have explored and presented to us throughout the trailers and their character bios. This will all be tested as their stories collide. One wrong move could lead to a tragedy, a close ally might betray them, a survival could come at a devastating cost. Rockstar's story really isn't just about chaos and heist, it's about the consequences of every decision and the emotional weight of living in a world where nothing comes free. This might go down as one of the best Rockstar stories they have ever told in the modern age, potentially even surpassing Red Dead Redemption 2's story with Arthur Morgan. If done right, it could set a new standard for storytelling in open world games, making players feel more connected to the characters and world.